Ladies and gentlemen, Charlton Zoning Board of Appeals. Today is Thursday, January 16th, 2025. We're going to start with new business. So we'll start with the petition for property located at 101 Sandersdale Road, Sandersdale, whatever they want to put a new sign up for this week. Is Chris Hansen here?
Yeah, right.
Chris, you're not the record owner of the property, right?
I am the record owner of the
Oh,
property.
you are?
Yep.
Okay.
It was deeded on December 6th.
Okay.
Yep. But while I was doing the engineering, I was not.
Okay.
I was the applicant. So let me go ahead. Did you have to finish what I was looking to do?
No.
Okay.
So why don't you tell us what you're looking to do and why this board should grant you relief?
Correct. So what we have is we have a 15-acre parcel of land. Has a perennial stream that runs across. It actually feeds into the actual river, but we do have a perennial stream that goes across. So the variance and the relief that I'm looking for here is due to the wetland, the stream, all the good buildable land is up in the back. So what we're looking to do is create a common driveway and serve all three of the lots. Basically take all the disturbance and bring it up outside the riverfront. So the number one thing we're looking to do here is just basically get a variance or relief to serve a third lot off of a common driveway. Due to this perennial stream, multiple crossings basically wouldn't make any sense. That's basically the relief that we're looking for here.
Right, so how many lots are you, this isn't recorded, this isn't a recorded plan, is it?
Yeah, it's been, the A&R plan's been recorded, the common driveway concept plan is not, but the A&R's been signed off by the planning board. There's 3 lots here. Parcel A right now is not to be considered, you see it right at the top, not to be considered an independent building lot. It doesn't have frontage, okay? It doesn't have enough frontage. These other 3 lots are conforming A&R lots that we're looking to serve the common driveway
Oh,
with.
I see.
Okay? So the reason, we did have perks up front, but the stream was deemed perennial, not intermittent, by my wetland scientist. So basically, we went back to the drawing board and we got we did an RDA to be able to cross. We did all the perks up in the back, so we have plenty of good perks, all in the 5-minute range. So my surveyor came up with this concept plan that would probably work the best to serve the 3 A&R lots off one common driveway. It also would limit all the disturbance in the front. There'd only probably be a 30 to 40 foot swath of disturbance for the first 400 or 500 feet of the lot to serve the common driveway, and everything would be up top. Did they give you, conservation give you the alternatives plans?
No.
Okay, so we did a bunch of perks in the front. I had my engineer draft it up, but it's just basically way too much disturbance up in the front, within the riverfront. So it really, it wouldn't make sense. I do have an alternatives plan here. If you guys want to take a look at it.
Oh, that's that one?
After this one.
Oh,
Very bottom. Is there an issue with doing 3 single driveways?
Well, the reason why, once we get to conservation, and let's say we're going for a notice of intent, the DEP is going to say, well, if you can serve it with one crossing, they're going to say, why would you want to cross it 3 times? It's going to be way more detrimental. It's going to be way more,
You still need to get planning board approval for a common
correct, special
driveway.
permit. Yeah, of course.
So why not do 2 access points then?
Right.
You do one common driveway under the bylaw for 2, and a
Yeah.
separate driveway for the other, whatever the third lot there is. And why wouldn't you just go for subdivision control at that point, if you have enough land to do it?
What do you mean by that? Sorry.
Well, I mean, we'll put a road in, you got 18 acres of land there.
Yeah, but a lot of it, you gotta look at here, we have riverfront, so a lot of this land, you gotta remember, 200 feet inside the buffer zone, you're only allowed a certain amount of disturbance. You can't just, that's why A&R lots were developed here. We went through everything on this. A subdivision doesn't make sense. By the time you put a road in, half of this lot's in a riverfront area. You 200-foot buffer zone, you're only allowed 10%, and that's not a given either. So the best way to go about this is you have A&R lots, basically, and you try to get as much as you can outside that riverfront buffer zone, because it might be all right for you or for me to come up with another driveway, but once it gets to conservation, they're gonna start questioning that. If I can serve it with one, which of course does require planning board approval, why would I be disturbing the wetlands with multiple crossings? To serve 3 A&R lots, all these lots are conforming lots. I'm not looking for any variances on frontage or area.
No, is that, this is the.
Yeah.
You guys have more questions? What do you think so far?
Yeah. I'd like to see conservation weigh in first, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's no problem.
Yeah, go to them with, I'd say with 2 driveways, and you don't need a variance for anything.
Yeah.
And then if they kick it back and say, no, we
Right.
wanna go with 1, then
Yep.
come back with their notice to us, and then talk about it.
I wouldn't mind hearing the fire department anyway about their thoughts about access.
Yeah, the bylaw 4.2 subsection 8, the bylaw allows, upon special permit from the planning board, common driveway, but only 2 lots. So he's asking for us to expand that to 3 lots
Right.
to do this.
Right, with the premise being that you only wanna make 1 crossing, but I mean,
Right.
if they allow 2 crossings, then we don't need the variance at all, we can stay within the bylaws, and go to planning board.
I think that's probably because there's very specific, all of a sudden there's more traffic, so it's very specific. Road width is very specific.
It's 18-foot wide roadway, so we allow 2 ways to get in and out, for 2-way traffic.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was, I think DEP is gonna kick it back and say, if I show them this plan, I show them alternatives plan, they're gonna ask why I need 2 crossings, but, that's what it's gonna be, but I don't see why that would make sense if there's a fire turnaround apparatus, and everything else is engineered to the specs of what the common driveway, the slopes. I don't understand why 2 crossings would make more sense over a perennial stream, but.
Well, it comes down to this,
Yeah, right.
is if conservation or DEP is gonna allow 2 crossings, then you
Right.
really don't have a hardship.
Right, okay.
And I think that's what the point is.
Yep.
If they came back and said, yeah, we only want 1 crossing,
Right.
then you potentially have a hardship.
Right.
But right now, I mean, like I said to you, is if, I don't know how much you need for upland for each one of those lots. I mean, those 3 lots definitely have more area
Right.
than needed for land. I mean, really, that's why I said, is if you went and put a road in there, potentially you could have 5 or 6 lots, you know, depending on how much upland area you have.
Yeah,
Maybe
I'd
you
rather-
have issues with perk tests, I don't know.
No, there's no issues with
Yeah.
road tests. We'd just rather go in with the A and
Yeah.
R lots. A and R lots versus putting a road in there is not, you know, I know the land. I know
Yeah.
the land. I know what I can do with it. To put, you know, DEP is gonna allow you to cross twice.
Plus, too, how many feet in is this thing gonna be?
What's that?
The
Roadway?
the common driveway, how many are you looking at?
What do you mean by that? Sorry.
From the road
Yup.
to the end of this thing, how
I
many
think
feet?
it's
is-
about 400 feet, he was saying. I mean, I can get back to you on that, but I believe it's about 400 feet. And then up top, he's showing if you see the hammerhead up there,
Yep,
that's for the turnaround. So basically about 250 feet up that common driveway there, you're gonna see the first house. If you see the buffer zone for the 200 foot, the way we're doing it here is that we're keeping 90% of the disturbance outside of the buffer zone, which is basically, this is more of a conservation issue on why we're
Right.
asking for a hardship. You
yeah,
know, it really
but we're
is
not
a
the
hardship.
conservation commission with the zoning board.
No, but I'm saying that's why we're asking for a variance for relief to cross once instead of twice. I mean, I don't know why that would make sense to cross twice when you can cross once.
Because then you're within the rules.
But that's fine. I mean, but I'm just saying DEP will, I think they'll listen to whatever you wanna say, but if we show them this plan, and we show them a plan with 2 crossings, I guess that's what we'd have to do. See what they say, is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Show them the plan with your drivers, say this is
Yep.
what we need to do, based on the bylaws, and then
Sure,
see what their response is, and
no problem.
come back.
All right, so no more questions at this point. You want to start calling people? Is that what you want? All right, so we'll start with zoning enforcement officer / building inspector.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Kurt Meskis, Building Commissioner, Zoning Enforcement Officer. If I may, I have a handout.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Darlene, you got yours, so there's a couple that people want them. My typical package, a locus map showing this is a single lot that Mr. Hanson has just procured from the previous owner. It's an undeveloped parcel, and as he says, it's between 15 and 16 acres. It has about 630 feet of frontage. Couple of photos. There's not much, not houses or anything there to show them photos of. And then the next page has some wetlands on it. Now, this is GIS wetlands. It's all disclaimed that this is not the actual wetlands. It just gives us an idea of what's going on. And as Mr. Hanson says, there's a perennial stream that runs across the front of the property. There's a river, it turns into the French River when it goes into Southbridge that goes down along the, whatever the right side of the page is. Mr. Hanson's already presented, and he did present in his application a plan showing 3 lots and remaining area. They are, as he says, conforming A&R lots. They have the requisite 50 feet, a reduced frontage lot requires 50 feet of frontage, but these are shown as all having 175 feet of frontage on his original plan and more than 60,000 square feet in area, so they're fine as far as that. He did present to the board or bring into the board an alternate plan that showed two parcels in the front and as one option, and as he says, a single parcel, a single lot there. And I transposed those the best I could. I'm not a surveyor. I'm not purporting this to be accurate to scale or anything, but he's showing an alternate plan, and as the board has said, we're creating a hardship, possibly. Right now, he's not been denied by the Conservation Commission for multiple crossings, not been denied by Conservation for having the two lots along the road. I understand, I work with Conservation, that there are a whole bunch of issues that come with riverfront areas, setbacks and all that stuff, but Conservation has not been presented with a plan to take any action or make any recommendations at this point. So as I think the board is leaning to and is recommending to Mr. Hanson that maybe a continuance, Mr. Hanson might ask for a continuance, get this plan before Conservation to see what it is. I understand what he's asking for, and yes, a single crossing is less intrusive, but getting a variance is also intrusive of the bylaw. So that's what I have to say.
No problem, yeah, understood. So what I'll do is, yeah, if we can do, if we can continue the hearing, and what I'll do is I'll bring in this plan to Conservation and see how they want to handle it, and I'll go from there.
Okay, there's still a lot of people here,
Okay,
I
no
think, that
problem.
want to talk, so I'm gonna let them speak as well.
problem, yeah.
I had one other question for you.
Yeah.
So regardless of what happens with this plan, the plan that you have right now that's an A&R plan.
Right.
You have this parcel A that's landlocked. So just for theoretical purposes, that the plan, the A&R plan that's recorded is you're able to build on it. What happens with the parcel A? You're gonna own it in perpetuity as a
What I'm
swamp?
gonna try to do really is, I was gonna talk to Conservation about that when I got there.
Okay,
Depending on what they're willing to get, if the single crossing is gonna work, I'll give them the lot.
all right, well.
Okay, you know, well, I'm just saying, that was my idea.
Okay,
That was my idea.
yeah.
There's a lot of riverfront on it, but it can protect a lot of the people on Blood Road that will remain open space, okay? My theory was that the 18-foot driveway going up would create a lot less blight for anybody in the neighborhood across the street.
And it
So
very
this-
well
this-
might,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is why I came up with this plan. Me and my surveyor worked on it. We worked on maybe getting a road in there, and we looked at everything, you know what I mean? We went over this before, we brought this before the planning board for an A&R plan.
Okay,
So that's my, goal on Lot A, Parcel A.
yeah. So I
Okay.
think, all right, so what we'll do next is, I have, hey Dylan,
Yes,
this thing right here that I'm gonna read,
it's for lot 5.
Different
oh, that's for the
hearing.
next one?
Yes.
So, next, is anybody in the audience here have any questions, concern? So I'm looking for members of the public, abutters, anybody have anything on this right now?
Yeah.
So I have no problem anybody speaking, but if you want to speak, you need to come up, state your name, address, for the record. All right, so start with you.
Sure. I'm Gene Lavasser, 92 Palmersdale.
Yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
Living in the area, I can tell you that land is very, very wet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know if you had your survey done recently, we've had like a 4-month drought.
yeah,
So maybe you're okay at this moment, but in the future, I guarantee you won't be because I'm much higher up elevation.
Yeah.
And we have standing water now.
okay.
So, just to warn you.
So in terms of, so he submitted a plan
Mhm.
that has 3 lots on it, and he wants that common driveway
Sure.
to service all 3 lots. So in terms of that, do you have any objection to that? Do you
No,
have-
I think that's actually the most logical and
Okay.
least destructive.
Yeah.
I would agree with you on that.
Yeah,
That's why I was proposing that, because I had met you over there before, because remember I had asked you where your well is, I actually recognize you, to kind of see where his well is in terms, because we were thinking at first of doing the front.
yeah,
So again, I get it, they have a 15-acre parcel that's never been really touched, and they're
Yeah.
just looking, they probably don't want to see it clear cut, I get it, they want to keep their privacy and,
so if that makes sense, like I said, right now, we'll talk, does anybody else, any other abutters, members of the public, have any other comments, questions? Nobody? All right, so we'll start calling around. Do we have anybody from conservation that has any comments or questions? Counting, planning board, we've already heard from the zoning enforcement officer, building inspector, town clerk, selectman's office, assessor, collector, board of health, economic development, police, fire, educational board. Nobody? No comments or whatever? Okay. Right now, I think the way that the board is looking at this is that they're not, you're not at the point where you actually have a hardship.
Correct.
I don't think that from just our questions so far that the board's necessarily opposed to this plan.
Correct.
But I think you're putting the cart before the horse a little bit.
Yeah, that's all right.
So do you want to just continue this to another
Yeah, we'll
meeting?
continue it. So, is there some way that you can, or the zoning officer can talk to conservation and kind of let them know where we're at with this, so when I give her the plan, she kind of
Do
understands
you
where
have
we're at?
do you have a plan, a working plan right now that you could submit to conservation?
Oh, I have the concept plan, I have this concept plan, is that the one that they gave you? The concept plan shows the driveway?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, we have it.
So
Yeah.
basically, this
So I would
concept,
talk to conservation,
yeah,
and I mean they're gonna the amount of wetland in there. You'll without question having a big DEP number on that.
Yeah, that's no big deal.
Yeah, I know.
It's all
Yeah, so
on-
I would
it's all
talk
on
to
the
them,
front.
see what, if they come back, I'm not sure, do you want a determination for conservation from them? Or if we got a letter from conservation saying that when, the likelihood of two access points is not gonna be, we're not gonna allow two crossings. Yeah.
I think procedurally, Mr. Chairman, that the applicant is gonna have to submit a request formally to conservation so that it gets on their agenda so they can take action.
So the question though is that, what do we want to take action on that? I don't actually need a formal denial of the second crossing if we wanna make a decision.
That's true, but I would think that it would be prudent that the applicant apply formally.
Yeah.
They have their discussion and they start making comments.
Okay, RDA? Yep, well, file a request for determination back.
Well, why, there's wetlands, we don't have to determine if there's wetlands, right?
Right.
Right, so you need to file, and you've worked with Rose before,
yeah,
and we'll
yeah.
try and work through this, that you need to file formally for a plan
Yep.
for the,
Oh, I see, okay, so come up with a stream crossing plan, submit it
right,
to her.
and also provide the alternate of your alternate that you've already shown, and to have them say,
Right.
no, this alternate is not gonna
I see.
work because of
Yeah, yeah.
X, Y, Z. And if they come off with an a positive statement that says, no, we can't allow this because it's in the resource area,
Right.
right? Then I think that coming out of the minutes of the meeting would be something that this board could consider.
Yeah.
I mean, I would think you want to submit a plan where you're within the zoning bylaws, right? It doesn't require a variance, so however that shakes out, 2 crossings, 3 crossings, however it makes sense, right? And if they say, no, we don't want to go forward with this, we'd rather you combine into one and do one single driveway.
Yeah, right.
You got
So,
something.
yeah, I'll have a stream crossing plan made showing 2 crossings, and I'll have it showing for a common driveway crossing. Submit that to the Conservation Commission, so we might have to have, a couple continuances, because obviously I gotta give my engineer some time to come
Oh,
up with
absolutely.
that, so.
Yeah.
So right now, Galen, when do I need to make a decision on this one?
February 22nd.
When's our next meeting?
The other thing is you could withdraw it, I imagine, right? And then wait to hear back from conservation if they say you absolutely have to do.
So if he withdraws,
Then he has to
I'm
do
sorry
the
for
whole-
jumping in, if he withdraws, then he's gonna have to reapply.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, so I would
If this
suggest
is
that,
gonna be like 6 months or a year or so,
Yeah,
I would
that's-
suggest
Probably that
But if
long,
it's a
I would
meeting
say.
too, we can always,
Yeah,
so,
we can schedule
do we have
it.
a
2
meeting
months.
scheduled
2 months.
before February 22nd? We don't have anything scheduled before February 22nd?
No, but we can.
well, and I'm gonna suggest that the applicant, ask for a continuance for 30 days, okay?
Yeah.
And,
Give you an update?
and
I don't-
mutually agree upon the continuance for 30 days. When we get to closer to 30 days and we don't have any new information,
Continue.
he asks for an additional 30 days.
Right, so right now, though, he can ask for a continuance till the next meeting, assuming we have a meeting between now and February 22nd. So regardless, if he asks for a verbal continuance now, then, which is fine, because we don't have to make a decision. But if we go beyond the 22nd, then we need something in writing asking beyond that.
And I think that's where you should go, because knowing the requirements of conservation for their posting and
Yeah.
hearings and his engineer to do the work.
You have a blank piece of paper?
Yeah, I can write on something, yeah. Yeah.
We should do, I mean, you want to just do 30 days?
Makes sense to.
I mean, 30 days puts us 2 weeks before the deadline anyway, so that's probably as late as we want to go, because
Okay.
in case somebody drops out.
Yeah,
of
just
our
ask for a
form.
30-day extension in writing real quick. Next meeting, we'll just do right in the middle
Oh,
of.
you need me to
February
have it on a
15th.
blank piece of paper for you?
It would be better.
That might be right.
Do we
Can I
have your
email you
blank
something?
piece
Can
of
I
paper?
email you something? Or do you need it now? All right.
I think for 30 days, to before the February 22nd, I think a verbal thing is okay. Do we need to, if we need.
Follow it up with an email.
Yeah, follow it up with an email. So just ask right now for extension for 30 days.
Extension for 30 days, please, motion.
All right, is there a motion to continue this hearing for the open hearing till the next meeting, 30 days from now?
I'll make a motion to continue it for 30 days.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, so Gail will let you know when the next meeting is, we'll put you on the agenda.
No.
And then if it looks like, the engineer needs more time or whatever, we'll just do a written extension at that point beyond, because we need to make a decision by statute by February
Yeah,
22nd.
of course, go by the laws, yes.
Right. So if it does come that you don't ask, that you need more time.
Yeah.
And you don't ask for an extension, then the board will vote on it before, because I'm not risking the deadline.
Of course, yeah, because
So-
of the kids, yeah.
And I'm not trying to give you a hard time, but
No,
like
no,
I'm
no,
following with
doing
the
your
statute.
job.
Yeah, the statute says X. So I don't think there's any issue
I'm
extending
gonna
it further.
email Rose too.
Yeah.
And kind of see where she wants to take this
Yeah.
to start with.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah,
Two
absolutely
crossing
fine.
versus single crossing.
Yeah, and see
I'll
how
write
it
her an
goes
email
and
and see
do
where
that.
she wants to take it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, we're all set with this one. So next one, we're gonna call Christopher Hansen for Lot 5 Highland Road in Charlton. Is there a Mr. Hansen? You're the record owner of this property too?
Record owner, yep. So this one, right now, oh, go ahead. You want me to start or?
Yep.
Yeah, so just tell us what you're looking to do and why the board should grant relief on this.
All right, so what we're looking to do here is, we have a, right now, we're kind of in a lull. So we went to, survey the lot because I wanted to confirm where the town line is, because there's a guy in a butter, lives right next to me that, he's on the Spencer side, but didn't really know where his lot line was, and he thought it came in and came all the way over to my lot. So what we did is we actually had the town line surveyed. So what's happening here is, we basically, right now, it's at the assessor's office. They need to confirm what my surveyor found, which is saying is the accurate bounds. Here's the corrected plan of land. I don't know if you guys have this. I don't think I've given you guys this. So that's a corrected plan of land. This is recorded. What we're trying to do right now is figure out this town line, if this is accurate, what my surveyor found. If this town line is accurate, we have two conforming lots without needing any variances. So we're basically waiting on this line right now.
Okay, because the plan, when you bought the 4 lots all on Highland, the plan there does not show that lot line on the back, like, that close to the town, or it marks where the town line is.
So this goes pretty deep. This goes way back to like 1930.
Yeah, I couldn't pull the plan from
So
1999.
back, way back, there was, they put Ethia Road in, but I think then they just put the road in wherever the road kind of went. So the road's in the wrong spot, and nobody ever paid attention to the town line over there because
So that's in all of that's in Spencer.
nobody ever was building on that side of the road. So
Okay.
nobody ever paid attention to the town bound. They didn't care. They were on the other side.
Yeah.
So Ethia Road just went where Ethia Road went. So
Okay.
what we're trying to do right now is find out the accuracy of the town line before we basically go anywhere. So all I'm gonna ask really is for a continuance, because there's really not much to talk about till I have that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't.
Yeah, because the plan from what you bought on, like, that outlines the town line on from the when you bought the land.
Correct.
last year.
Kaczynski did a plan in '96. I don't even
Yeah.
know who that is, but he did a plan in '96.
Yeah, I was looking at that.
The town line was never paid attention to. I mean, we just shot this. I had a guy go out there with the GPS satellite equipment, shot it from East Brookfield.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, we're talking state of the art equipment that he surveyed that line with. In 1930, they could have just, like I said, nobody ever built on that side of the road. So they never paid attention to the town bound. So if it's accurate, it is. If it's not, if it is what it was before, it is. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then we would be, coming back. But
If it turns out that you have frontage on that Ethia Road, then you don't need anything from us at that point
don't need any variance.
because you can just go to the planning board for the common driveway
Correct.
and get the special permit for
That's
that.
why that town line basically is.
When did you guys realize that bound was like that?
Well, what happened is I had him go in to survey.
Yeah.
I had him go in to survey, and he went down to the Nick at the DPW and says, hey, do you have any monuments here? Is there anything in here?
Yeah.
Because he goes, I don't see anything recent. There's nothing here from '96. He goes, I can tell you that. Whatever was in '96, the guy just went off the plan that people went off for years and years and years.
Yeah.
The plan was for Highland, not for Ethia.
Yeah.
So why do they care where the town line is there? They had the room, they had the
Right.
area.
Yeah.
So they said the frontage is coming off Highland. Don't worry about Ethia, just use the line. So when he went in there, he was looking for the line. So Nick gave him some monuments. They went all the way to East Brookfield, and did a GPS satellite. And basically, we just have to wait for the state to review it
Okay.
and make sure that what my surveyor found is correct. Yeah, sure.
You guys have any questions on this? You know what he's talking
Simple,
about?
yeah, he wants to continue it, let the surveyors hash it out, and then we'll see what we have. If they don't need us, they don't need us.
Yep, we'll give you a chance. Yep, I'm not gonna lock you out. Don't worry.
Okay, so,
We're gonna call the building inspector, zoning enforcement officer.
so what the town of Charlton knows right now is we're confused. And the assessors are working with Mass GIS,
Yeah.
and Matt Franz, our local GIS guy, I've had conversations with him and everything, and we're trying to find, now we did find 1931 plans for the Charlton side,
Yeah.
okay, which assume this line, okay, and I'm not
That's
gonna
the
say.
Highland Grove Campground.
Right.
Yeah.
And we found a matching plan
Yeah.
for Spencer,
Oh, nice.
okay, that shows the line
Yeah.
in the same spot. So if you took those two plans and put them together,
Yeah.
it would be as it appears as Mr. Hanson bought the property,
Yeah.
okay? The deed for the property that Mr. Hanson bought
It's from the '96 plan.
is from the '96 plan.
Yeah.
And my question is okay, if the town line is 43 feet further, which direction?
Towards the Ethia, yes.
West,
Whatever it is.
northwest.
Yeah.
Well, someone has ownership to that. Right, because Mr. Hanson's deed says 338 feet or something.
298 bounded by Ethia. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Right? So this number here, no, this
Oh, yeah.
38,
Oh,
right?
okay,
So
yeah,
if
yeah.
you went from this pin
Yeah.
to this pin,
Yeah.
your deed says you own that.
Okay, yep.
It
Yeah.
doesn't say you own it.
Right.
So
The question
somebody
is,
owns.
The question is who owns it, and whether it could be just the town, it could be the road, you know, nobody knows.
The 388 is coming from the Kozersky plan,
Right. I agree.
but who says that Kozersky's plan is accurate?
Well,
That's
yeah,
why,
yeah.
that's why, you know what I mean? So, the real bound could be, I mean, GPS satellite, I mean, it's, again, we have to, it needs to be looked into, but that deed's going by the Kozersky plan, because the lots were created. It was a bunch of little campsites that were all put together.
Yeah.
But that's based on what was created in 1931.
But how accurate are those? I don't know.
Well-
I guess, you know what I mean, we have to see.
That's right. And
You know, it is
I mean,
what it
that's-
is, it's
that's-
black and white.
yeah.
If they say it is what it is, you know, there's really no argument. It's in the state's hands, right?
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what we're working.
Yeah, but I think, yes, to Kurt's point though is that if it does look like that the town line is wrong, and you've been deeded something according to a plan, what rights do you have in that area? Because the plan references a line.
Right.
Yeah, so
So what
it
would happen
references
is
an
that,
area.
from what I was told legally, that you basically, you have to give whoever's been using that road for 100 years, the ingress and the egress to get in and out to use that road. You own the dirt, but you know, you have to give them the rights to use it because they've been using it for 100 years.
Right,
You get what I'm saying? So legally, that's how that would kind of work. Now, I mean, there's gray areas in everything, but you know, we have to basically figure out what comes back from the assessors and the state, and then kind of go from there.
yeah. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna call,
Yeah, no problem.
I'm gonna call, is there any abutters that have anything, so you wanna come up? You need to state your name and address for the record, and whether you have any objections, anything on this at all.
Valley of Corral and lived in Cranberry Lake for 70 years. I own part of Eakia Drive that goes up.
So you're gonna just, what's your address?
It's 98 Shore Road.
Okay,
I have a corner lot.
Okay.
That goes to the water. It's
Yep.
Spencer, and it goes up Eakia Drive.
yeah,
This gentleman calls me, arguing with me about my land. He wanted Eakia Drive for himself to buy. I'm a hospice nurse. I was with a patient in RN. I had to hang up on him. It was so rude. He's been rude to all our neighbors. Maybe there wouldn't be so many here if he was nicer to us. He's
Okay.
rude.
No, it's not even that.
And before they wanted to build on Pine Road, that's right there,
Yeah.
but they found fairy shrimp, so they couldn't, some kind of salad
It's
made there.
basically wetlands. This has been
Yeah.
untouched land forever, and he's come in and demolished it. It's a
Yeah.
mess. He took our power out on Christmas Eve because one of his workers backed into the pole. I was there, so
Yeah.
yes, you can't
That's
say they
straight.
didn't.
That lot's been sold, I don't own that. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
well, the other ones
Yeah.
as well
This was a
that
while
you
ago.
destructed.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
He's
the
got
what?
open foundations with just tarps over them.
which lots are you talking
The
about?
lot's right up across from, what's your address?
37 Highland.
All right, so we're talking about lot 5.
I don't even, I don't know
Okay.
if they lost.
And then
Right, so
when
there's-
you go
there's-
down to
so-
the
Wait a minute,
Oh,
wait a minute.
hold on. Right, so according to the deed from this gentleman here is the petitioner, he bought, there was 5 lots on Highland Road there. It was number 2, 3, 4, and 5. He bought 4 out of those 5 lots. So after he bought them, lots 2, and at least 2 and 3, possibly 4, he doesn't own anymore. So if there's building on that, that's not part of this.
It said 5 and 6 in the letter.
Yeah, so we're just lot 5 on
Right,
this.
right.
So nothing's done anything on this particular lot right now.
It's the connecting driveways between lot 5
Right,
and
so,
6.
so what he's asking, and this depends upon what happens with where the town line is between Spencer and Charlton. All right, what he's asking for is that lot 5 is, how many acres? It's like 2.5
2.52.
acres, right? So it's 2.5 acres of land over there. And when what we're discussing is that he wants to create 2 lots out of that 2.5 acres and put a common driveway in between those 2.
Right.
I definitely feel for you, for that other guy, and it kind of stinks that but it's out of
No,
that's out.
he was the one that was rude to everybody. I
Well, that might be the case.
Yeah.
But,
He was the patients and
yeah.
everything.
As
And
well
I
as
understand-
the
I
Eafier
certainly
property,
understand that.
We own pie wedges throughout Eafier Drive.
So what
You're
this
the
is
north
about-
house there.
I pay taxes, I've been paying taxes underneath your drive.
And if it's 5,
Okay.
it's gonna be 6. That lot 5 is going into 6 that he's asking for, because that's the letter you sent to us.
Which,
saying 5
which
and
lot
6.
is, which, all right, which one are we talking about, lot
I don't
6?
know.
You wanna just want, this is what he's asking right now.
Conditional.
Condition.
So this is one, this right now is one lot with the town,
Right.
okay? This is lot 4 here, so this is Highland, this is where like that guy's building all the houses over here, all right? So what he's asking for is 2 lots with a common driveway in the middle. Highlands Road right there.
So it's gonna
All
make
the
a
way
road
back around our houses.
all the
No,
way around.
no, it would just come up, which house is yours?
I live right on the
We
lake.
have 68 Highland.
Yeah, 68 Highland.
Okay, this is on Highland right there, so this would come up next to this place right here, and then there'd be 2 houses in the back here. Then they're not going up and around Ethiopia or anything like that.
Highland over here.
No, this is Highland Road, this is Highland Road down here.
So, yeah, it's a project, you know, so it's gonna make between these 2 homes, they're not gonna be yesterday, or the day before. It's gonna make a road there.
He's gonna make a
Between
driveway,
68.
it's just a
Up the long
driveway.
one.
One driveway
One driveway.
contained on just that lot.
Just those lots. This is not gonna touch Ethiopia Road at all.
No, but
So the
68 Highland, and that next one, is it gonna be there?
I don't know what 68
The
Highland is.
the driveway's only gonna be on that one lot.
And so I'm a surgical tech, and I've been numerous times blocked in by their equipment. I go for, if I'm called for the ER at Harrington, I can't wait for them to finish backloading their stuff. So this is every day.
Yeah, that's something you need to talk with the building inspector about, okay?
And then-
That's not as,
It's like,
yeah, that's not a zone, like, we're talking about zone.
You're right, you're right.
And I'm not trying to give you a hard time.
And
All
also,
we
it's
have control over is zoning.
agriculturally zoned.
Yeah, that's, like, most of the town is agriculture.
I know, but it says
Yeah.
that it's supposed to have 5 acres of farmland for agriculturally.
No,
like,
not-
plant
no,
life.
no, no.
So
Massachusetts
what
state
I'm
law, I just
concerned
looked it
about
up.
is this
No,
the drive that
so
I
if
pay
it's,
taxes
if it's
on.
agricultural under the state definition, that's fine. The town of Charlton designates, for zoning purposes, they call it agricultural land. It's not the same thing. The town can name the agricultural zone anything they want. We could name it the blue zone, you know, the Robin Hood and Batman zone, whatever. It's just, that's what we call it. So we don't require that kind of frontage or anything like that.
So, this Ethiopia Drive, speaking, I've been paying taxes on that for
We have multiple
all
lots
these years,
Yeah.
on
and
Ethiopia
spent
Drive,
time Ethiopia Drive up
and
the
had
road.
it surveyed.
Yeah, that's, so
previous
that's,
to-
he's not touching Ethia Drive.
He just said
I'm
the
just
town
saying,
line.
it's
Right.
been here, nobody uses it.
Right,
It's a lot that
because,
nobody uses.
because it's, he's looking for the frontage on the road. That's what it is.
Exactly,
That's
but
what he told me,
that
he
falls
wanted to
into
buy
our
a
law.
bunch.
Yeah, so it's a private road, then he may have to contact you, I don't know that at all.
He already
But,
has.
yeah,
Oh,
so that's, so, in terms of all of this, if this was the plan right now, do you have a problem with the plan?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And there's
that's
other
right.
neighbors that couldn't make it because
All
of
the
illness.
people that came about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is all the road.
Yeah, yeah, it's all
Absolutely.
our road.
okay.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Sorry for your.
He wants to just destroy wetland.
Does anybody else have any comments, questions, come up, just over right over there? You wanna state your name and address for the record?
Grandparent, 47 Cranberry Meadow Road,
Okay,
and I also, my grandparents' house is 37 Highland Road.
okay.
Want to know why there was gas out of a chainsaw thrown like this.
I have no idea. So,
This isn't where this, we can't bring that up, where there was gas thrown in front of, when I was
so
at my
is,
sister's house.
you wanna talk to the fire department, board of health, or the building inspector on that?
Okay, so we called the police department, they told us to come to here or go somewhere else, I forget where they told us to go to.
Yeah,
So they didn't-
unfortunately, there's nothing to do, like gasoline. I don't wanna start a fire like LA without question on Cranberry Meadow, but
Yeah.
I got nothing I can do about that.
Hey, it'll save me some money from clearing.
Yeah,
Yeah, and destroy our houses too.
yeah, so, did you have any problems or questions with our,
I mean, I
built?
think it's destroying the road as well as when he's bringing his equipment in.
All right, but there's
it's
no
washing
equipment coming,
out.
there's no equipment coming in yet.
There already is equipment there.
That's
I don't
somebody
own,
different.
I don't own 2, 3, 4, and I don't own 75.
So the
I
people
own
that are
lot
building
5.
right now on that road, that's
Not
not
me.
him, that's somebody
Okay,
else.
so which one is the one right at the top of the road, right in the Highland?
I don't know.
That's two?
2, 3,
Three
and
is the
4
one
I do
in
not
front of
own.
us.
I do
Yeah,
not own those.
no,
I do not
so
own
2,
those.
3, and 4, if they're building on
They
that,
have been sold.
that's not him, he doesn't
Number,
own those.
number 75 down at the bottom of the hill. I do not own
Still
that.
got the top ones.
Yeah.
Those are top ones.
Yeah, so if they're if there's a problem with building, you contact the building inspector's office. If someone's like throwing gasoline, that would be the fire department, wouldn't it?
Fire or police.
Yeah.
We called the police department.
Yeah, I'd call the fire department, like, hey, listen, there's, open containers of gasoline or whatever over here. You could have a conservation or board of health issue if it's wetlands or whatever, I would call them. Unfortunately, zoning has no control over that type of stuff. All right, in terms of the plan, no other comments, questions, whatever? Anybody else have any questions, comments?
Yes, I'm Lisa Camilleri. I
Yeah.
live at 62 Highland Road.
Okay,
So my question is, the common driveway that he wants to put in
Yeah.
is going to go right next to my property.
this is your property right here?
My, yep, this is my property here.
Okay, yeah,
So my question is that, according to these plans,
yeah,
this is 60,000 square foot, and this is 49
yeah.
under. So I thought that by law, but for zoning, you had to have,
60,000.
yeah.
So he would be asking for a variance for 10,200 square feet
Okay.
for that one right there.
Okay, so does this common driveway,
Yeah,
does that have to be a certain amount away from my property line, or is that gonna go right on my property line? You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
And my concern is that this area here is not gonna support two houses.
So, I don't know the answer off the top of my head. I don't think there's any prohibition for driveways. There's no setbacks for driveways.
It's a swamp back there.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
big
so,
swamp.
I don't think there is a setback for driveways.
Okay.
But even if we grant him relief for a driveway, he's looking for relief for square footage for that second
Right,
lot, for
right,
area.
right.
All right, so if we grant him relief for the square footage, he still needs to go in front of the planning board to get a driveway in. So it's not an automatic in
Okay.
Charlton that you can do a common driveway.
Okay.
So he's still, under the bylaw, he would still need to go to the planning board and ask for a special permit to
Okay,
put a driveway.
To put a common driveway.
Where to put a common driveway in.
Okay.
So, I don't know, like, we wouldn't be, if he, so right now, the way that works, he only has 175 feet of frontage right here on this road. So, he would, if he were to come and ask for a variance from us, he would be asking for, the way that the plan is right now, a variance for an additional 175 feet of frontage, because he doesn't have that frontage, okay?
Okay.
Plus, he would be asking for 10,200 feet of area, because he doesn't have enough area right there.
Right, yeah.
So, when they did the survey, this is what the question is, they determined that this right here, the town line behind here,
Yeah.
might be in a different place
Okay.
than what they think it is.
Okay.
So if it is in a different place, then he may actually
might
have
have
frontage on that road.
Okay.
Even though he would still try to access it from that way, you can still count the frontage. So this one would have enough frontage if it was actually on that road, and that's what they're trying to figure out. So he would still need a variance for 10,200 square feet, but he wouldn't need the frontage variance at all.
Okay.
Okay? And then he would still need to go in front of the planning board for the special permit for a common driveway.
Okay, so the common driveway would still be in Charlton on this side?
Yeah, I think that's what his plan is. That's what your plan is, you would still make it off.
Yeah, so the Ether Road, as it stands, the 298 feet that plan from 96 shows,
Yeah,
there's nobody in between me and Ethier Way, so, if we say, accessibility to the buildable area of the lot, nobody abuts, we have direct access to Ethier Drive, we'd still need the variance for the area. But, as that plan, we do hold frontage on that side of the road.
so you think you would switch it around and have frontage, you'd have the driveways come from Ethier Road, not do a common driveway at all?
We do 1 and 1.
You wouldn't need a common driveway, you could just access it from Ethier Road?
Just because we have accessibility, there's nobody in between me and Ethier Road, accessibility to the buildable area of the land.
And now that's.
So that common driveway was shown there. because we thought that if we could come in through there and just get one driveway up into there, I mean, a lot of those lots on that, if you look at the assessors map 1A, a lot of those lots are 10,000 square feet or less in that area. If you look at the map, they're all, you know.
But that doesn't really help you because now you have one that's way more conforming than anything.
Oh, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, that doesn't really help you at all.
Again, you know, variances, you know, it's not detrimental to the
So what you're saying
neighborhood.
is that there's a possibility that you may not need a common driveway at all, depending on.
Correct. We, you know, this stuff takes a little due diligence. We put this concept together.
Yeah.
You know, and then we're surveying and we're working with it and see what we got.
So it's possible that, depending upon what happens with that town line,
Yeah.
that they might try to do 2 driveways on this
Okay.
side, and there'd be no common driveway.
Okay.
And then this would just actually remain open because
Okay.
the houses would be over there.
Okay.
Or there could be one there and one here or something.
Right, so if, even, so with this plan, so we're just
Yeah.
talking about this
Just
plan.
talking about this plan.
My other concern would be the leach fields and the sewers. For my house, I just know their first names, Janet and Dennis, and Tricia's. Yeah.
And so with,
So I would be, I guess what my concern would be
Yeah.
is that I don't think that land can support 2 3-bedroom homes.
they may have,
with
I have
sewer
no
and-
idea.
Okay.
So I would talk to the Board of Health about that.
Okay.
So they're the ones that manage where wells go, where septic
Right,
systems
right.
go. Like, and I know that there are specific rules on like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can't have a well within so many feet
100.
Right.
of a septic system or a leach field and so many
Right,
feet
right.
of another septic system.
Yeah.
So I would ask them during the day, you know, hey, listen, you know, I live here, this is what it looks like.
Yeah.
How many feet away would it need to be?
Right,
And
yeah.
it would depend on where
especially
your
with the
well
s-
is, when the
right,
neighbors
with-
are, or
and with
whatever.
the slope of,
Yeah.
if that's gonna be up on the higher part of the property.
Yeah.
With the way it slopes down into my property
Yeah.
and theirs, and that's where all our leach fields are, so, I mean.
You'd have to, like, I have no
Okay.
idea what goes into that at
Okay.
all.
Can I just break
In
one
terms
more
of the common driveway thing,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
talk to Randy at the planning board about
Okay.
what he would do, and I don't know.
Okay.
They would have to apply for that, but I don't think that there's a prohibition for having it on the line like that, as long as it wasn't
Okay.
over, so.
Okay, all right.
I mean, he might be like, I would, with the planning board, you know, typically wouldn't allow that, or they would
Right,
allow that,
right.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is a drainage area
Yeah,
right
and I would
here.
tell it to, yeah,
What would happen with that if that road goes in there?
I would ask Randy about
Ask
that as
Randy
well,
about
yeah.
that too? Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. Because
But
that is the lowest point of the road, so
Yeah.
if all this goes in, that drain, you know, you obviously worry about flooding, we
Yeah.
worry about,
Oh, absolutely.
you know, all that kind of stuff.
So any, you know, all, whatever's done here, it's gotta meet Title V and it has to meet, you know, we're gonna have to do stormwater standards anyway, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the planning board does look at stormwater management.
Okay.
Stormwater management, everything's gotta meet Title V.
So
It's gotta
the
go through
plan,
Board
this
of
plan
Health.
as it stands, do you have any other comments opposed to it?
I'm absolutely opposed to it.
Okay.
Yeah. This plan, I'll make that clear, this plan I'm opposed to.
Okay.
Thank you.
Does anybody else, abutters, members of the public, have any comments, questions, or whatever? All right, so we'll just go around the board. Anybody from conservation? Oh, we have some, this doesn't say who submitted this.
I'm sorry, it's my mess. It's Lisa. It's the one who
This, they just spoke to you.
Oh, this is yours right
Yeah,
here?
yeah,
Oh,
I
it should,
didn't think I was gonna make it tonight.
oh, so I don't need to read this then?
No,
Okay.
I talked it all out.
Okay. All right, so anybody from conservation, planning, town clerk, selectman's office, assessors, collectors, board of health, economic development, police, fire, school system, DPW, state, federal government, inauguration committee, have any comments, questions? All right, so, are you gonna request a continuance on this, 30-day continuance on
Yeah, I
this
gotta
as well?
figure out the line, that's the biggest thing.
Okay.
Figure out the line.
So you wanna make it just a request for a 30-day
Please.
continuance? Okay, is there a second on the request, is there a motion for a continuance?
Well, I'll make the motion to continue.
All right, there's a motion, second,
Sorry.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, we continue this to the next meeting.
Okay.
So what I'd like to do is, we probably try to schedule a meeting again before the 22nd. If it doesn't look like you're gonna have answers on one or either of these
Yeah.
by that time, then I probably want just a request in writing to go beyond the statutory requirement for us to make a decision. And then, Dylan, we would just have to have a meeting on an agenda and vote on it once again, if it's before the 22nd, if it doesn't look like it's
So
gonna go.
would we have to reapply if we
No,
continue
no,
it?
so,
Yeah.
yeah, if it's gonna be like another,
3
30 or
months or
60
whatever,
days, and
yeah.
this is, I don't think it makes sense for you to reapply for
Okay.
that, this,
I
at
just
that
wanna-
point.
yeah.
If it does look like it's, if our drop dead date is February 22nd, and you need more time, at that point, I want like a request in writing, we'll
Yeah.
have a meeting, and then we'll continue it going forward,
Yeah, no problem.
okay?
Yeah.
If it looks like it's gonna be like 6 months or a year for them to figure out, then I'd probably say, like, I'm not gonna continue it that long.
Yeah, no,
You know,
no,
like
it's
I'd
not
say,
gonna
hey,
take
listen,
that
just
long. We'll
withdraw.
get- I'll talk to
reapply.
Rose, we'll get,
Yeah,
see what she wants, and then, we'll figure out this line. It should be, from what I heard from the assessors, it shouldn't be no more than a couple of weeks
okay,
to figure out what's going on there.
all right.
So can I just ask you a question? This line on Leaky Drive,
Yeah,
I pay taxes on Leaky Drive.
Yeah.
Strip of land, this is, it is my land that I pay for?
so,
So,
Private way, they own
Let-
the
let-
I
center.
don't know, possibly, I have no idea, I don't know.
Mr. Chairman, if
Yeah.
I might, this is a very technical issue, and what we're finding, and Mr. Hanson has found, is that there may have been an ongoing,
But after this amount of time, isn't it a grandfather
no,
clause? So
no.
we're just effed out our money and our property?
I can't tell you that. I can tell you that what I have to tell people all the time. It might be in your best interest to hire a lawyer to advise you on what to do, and that lawyer might say,
I
we,
have one and I have a surveyor coming
Yeah.
in. Just
Right.
on my Leaky
Clean up the
Drive
title, I've been
property.
here for 2 years, so.
it's,
The last place you wanna go.
So which way is the line marked? Is it more towards Spencer or
It's
more
more,
towards Charlton?
we don't
more
know.
toward,
We believe,
it appears
it appears.
that it is further into Spencer than what
Presumed,
people
right.
thought.
It's further into Spencer? Oh, so the road's more towards Charlton?
The road is where the road is.
Yeah, you're not gonna change it, I get it.
Okay, where the line on the ground, okay, is further into Spencer.
Okay, so, because the common line was, where the town line marker is like right at the corner of the cemetery. So that should actually be more towards Spencer side.
This is what
Apparently.
This is what Mr. Hansen's surveyor has found by finding the
The-
two bounds that are 5 miles apart.
Yeah, GPS, I
Yeah.
get it. Thank you.
Still want to know if I pay taxes for nothing.
All right, so we have a motion. Any other new business, Dale? So we just have the minutes from the last meeting? Where do we have those? I was not here for that. So that's it, we're just gonna do the minutes. We have no other new business. We don't have any other emergency business or whatever. All right, so, does anyone, wanna make a motion on the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
Is there a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, minutes are accepted. Is there anything else? All right, so motion to end the meeting this evening.
I'll make a motion to end the meeting.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting's over.